There was a child standing at the edge of a forest. He didn't know what he was looking for, but something in the way the wind moved, just barely brushing his skin, like a forgotten memory, suggested there was something fascinating just beyond the trees. Now, isn't that intriguing? Because as you listen now, or perhaps later, and notice how you listen, you might already begin to sense that curiosity is more than a feeling. So where the soul opens doors with invisible keys. You don't have to remember every word consciously. In fact, it's better if you don't, because the deepest truths are whispered like secrets passed in dreams. That you're learning now how to combine all these beliefs, not just as thoughts, but as your new operating system, you might wonder. Have you ever noticed how explorers, they never ask, is this safe? They ask, what else is here? That single shift in question rewrites the entire script of reality. Because the curious mind is the mind that creates new worlds. So let's play a little, shall we? You're walking through a museum of minds. Each room echoes with beliefs, some old, dusty and brittle, others vibrant, electric, alive. You reach one exhibit titled, You're Always Growing. You pause, a light flickers. And in that flicker, a voice says, every setback is feedback, every challenge, a sculptor's tool. Even when you thought you broke, you were just breaking through. Now, isn't that a fascinating realization? Because the moment you realize that growth is inevitable, the moment you begin to act like someone who expects to evolve, and when you expect to evolve, you begin to notice that failure no longer stings, it instructs. And instruction breeds mastery, and mastery feels deliciously inevitable. Now imagine a compass, but not one that points north, one that points to mystery. It hums when you're near a good question, the kind of question that opens portals, not answers that close doors. And as you pick up and it whispers, ask more, what if? Ask more, why not? Ask more, how could I? As you turn those questions inward, a strange thing happens. Your entire operating system begins to rewire itself around the structure of deliberate curiosity. Because when you're curious, you don't fear the unknown, you dance with it. And dancers don't fall, they twirl. There was a scientist once who stared at a leaf for 2 hours, 2 full hours, not because he didn't know what it was, because he did, and still believed there was more to see. That's the nature of fascination. It's a way of saying, I'm not done learning yet. And if you've ever been so absorbed in something that the clock disappeared, you've already known that feeling. So why not live inside it? Why not become the explorer, the seeker, the curious learner who sees the universe unfolding in a raindrop and realizes, this is who I am now. Here's the funny thing about humans. We mirror each other without knowing it. You smile, I smile. You lean, I lean too. So when you radiate fascination, others feel it, without even understanding why. When you ask the kind of questions that make people say, huh? I never thought of it that way. You're no longer speaking to them. You're reaching inside their patterns and rearranging them like constellations. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. Because the person who moves others deeply is the person who's been moved first. And you've begun to move. And somewhere along the way, you stop trying to be curious and you become curiosity. You stop pretending to wonder and you embody wonder. You stop seeking permission and instead you emit a frequency that says, I'm here, I'm enough, I'm fascinated. And this is more than enough to begin. You wake up and the thoughts think you. You walk and the world bends around your questions. You speak and people listen, not to your words, but to your presence. And what does it mean to be present? It means you stop waiting for the magic, because you are the magic now. So as you teach yourself again and again, in moments big and small, how to connect the pieces of this new belief system. You might start to remember things that you haven't learned yet. That beliefs are choices, that certainty is practiced emotion, that fascination is a superpower disguised as a whisper, that it's okay not to know, because not knowing is where knowing begins. And every time you notice a moment of wonder, that tingle in your chest, that question on the tip of your tongue, let that be the signal. Let that be the anchor. Let that be the moment you remember that you're the explorer, you're the seeker, you're the mystery, and you've just begun.